My name is James Martin and I'm the Vice President of Logan Theatre. This particular building opened in 1926 and by the 30s it became the Shakers Theatre. The actual movie theatre itself closed in 1992 and here we are now. We're just very, very lucky that over the years somebody put a new roof on it, so therefore structurally it's very sound, but obviously it needs to be brought up to 2020 standards. So this is where we are. You're in the main hallway. Over to your right hand side would have been the concession stand where we're actually storing stuff at the moment. If you look down here, we have plenty of movies and things to get ourselves going. Our intention is to run 35mm movies again, just as it was. And that's actually quite unique for Ohio. Not many movie theatres are running 35mm anymore because they all converted to digital around 2014. So here we are. Over here on the left-hand side, you'll see that's to get to the balcony. And here, if you just be very careful where you are, because that's an elevator shaft. The elevator shaft always was here, but there was never an elevator in this building. So so we are going to have that put in, and we're excited about that. That will be at some point this year. And again, just be very careful because there are cords and things on the ground. So you're now coming into the main auditorium, and you can see these are the restrooms, which actually are going to be resituated so that they meet modern standards. And we're now coming into the actual auditorium itself. This is a 550-seat theatre, and we don't know the final numbers when we actually do restore it, but you can see very obviously that this was just a regular movie theatre. These seats were replaced in 1964. The original seats are still upstairs on the balcony, and they are predominantly made of wood. And our intention at the moment is to replace all these seats. And we actually have some sponsorship programs where you can either sponsor a new seat or you can buy one of these old seats, or you could do both depending on what you wanted to do. But we're fundraising at the moment to completely restore this section of the building. We also have a second and third floor, and we also have retail units at the front. The retail units are all going to be occupied very shortly. We have Tacey's Sweet Treats. We also have an office on one side, and we also have the opportunity to have a booking office and the executive director's office that will be downstairs on Main Street. So as you can see, the building, it does need a lot of remodeling, but the main thing that we like to tell people is that this is structurally sound. It's a good solid building, and if you can hear by my echo, the acoustics in here are absolutely wonderful. When we do tours in here, very often we'll put speakers on the stage, and we'll play some movie music, and you can hear it reverberating perfectly in this auditorium. It was never a fancy theatre. You know, this is Logan, Ohio, and you know, it was built to look nice, and that's what our intention is to do. You know, we're going to make it look nice. We are very aware of our heritage, and we're going to try and keep everything as much of a tip to our heritage as possible. We actually have an orchestra pit here. I don't know if you can see that. It's a tiny one, but it's an orchestra pit nonetheless. And that's where the organ would have been during the silent movies and all that sort of stuff. We also have had some famous people on that stage. We've had Roy Rogers and Trigger. We've also had Sammy Davis Jr., to name but a few, because of course all the vaudeville acts would have come through here. And the actual stage itself, once that all gets cleaned up and ready to go, it's going to look fantastic. So it's a combination of movies, and it's also going to be live performances, maybe bands, and you know, stuff like that. So you know, it's a very versatile theatre. We can also have people coming in here, like corporations can rent this for the day, and they can do a big presentation upstairs. You can see that's where the projection booth is. Well, it's still there, The actual projection equipment has been sent off to a gentleman to be repaired. He used to work for RCA. He is repairing all of our original projection equipment, and we will put some digital equipment up there, but it's going to be stuff that so you can do a PowerPoint presentation. And can you imagine how awesome that's going to be if you're standing there and you're doing a presentation on a great big stage? Isn't that awesome? So there's lots and lots of things that we can do that will just make this more and more versatile. And as I say, it's for the community. We're a 501c3. Nobody here is intending to make any money out of it, but what we are intending to do is make it cash flow. So that's why we have the second and third floors, which we're renting out. We also have a basement that we haven't even looked at yet, but we can certainly rent that out too. And we have those retail units at the front that we will rent out. So for the most part, that is basically going to cash flow the whole of this operation. The actual auditorium itself does not need to make any money, which is just as well, because that's why all of these movie theatres in the late 80s and early 90s went bankrupt, because all of the multiplexes came in. They were offering much better sound, much bigger screens, much more choice. And of course, a tiny little theatre like this that's going to play one movie a week didn't have a chance. So that's why we're offering lots and lots of different things. The other thing, of course, is in the 80s, everybody was moving out of downtowns and going to shopping malls. Well, as we all know, that's actually gone into reverse now. So everybody's coming into a downtown because they want a nice walking space, and they want eclectic shops and eateries, a good mix of things where they can spend a day or an afternoon, and they can sit down in Worthington Park and maybe just chill out and just have a nice time where everything's there for their entertainment. And so we're riding the crest of a wave right now. The whole of Logan is being revitalized, and this is a very essential part of that. With regards to timeframes, we expect the second and third floor to be open up this year. And then once that happens, then we actually start working on the full fundraising of the auditorium. That's when things start getting real and we start really putting our foot on the gas. We are going to need the community's support. We're going to need businesses' support. We're going to need everybody to help us get this done. And the more fundraising that we can do, the more grants that we can get, the quicker that this place will open. We want it open as soon as possible, we're going to do our level best to make it happen, certainly within the next couple of years.
If people want information, is there a website?
Yes, there is. You can go to logantheatre.org, and you can spell theatre with the ER or the RE at the end. So logantheatre.org, and that will take you over to a website that gives you lots of information about the theatre, what we're intending to do, where we are at, and where we need to go. So yeah, please do check out that website.